we're going to hand on the microphone. You can tell us a little bit about the car. Go from there.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Mike for putting on this great event. And behind every great man, there's a great woman. And Paula, take a bow. You do a great job. But it's 1976. It was built in the last 30 days of production of the Triumph TR6s. And I've had it for over 22 years. And I remember buying it thinking, I can't wait to get to the British invasion. Now I finally got a British car. We've had so much fun with it. And I've been here with my wife and my brother and my son, who's actually grown up coming to the British invasion. He first came up in a booster chair. So, and again, thanks for everybody for coming, and it's a great event, and hopefully Mike will keep doing this again and again. And give Paula a big round of applause.
Joseph Machon, Abascon, New Jersey, 1959 Lotus Esprit Type 14 S1. Your first place winner in the Lotus Class 9.
Again, the first thing I want to do is really thank Mike. And you know, nobody really understands what it's like to put on a show like this. It's a nightmare. I've actually been involved in trying to put some shows together, and we're having such a wonderful time. For years and years and years this has been going on, and thank you for all the fun and all the camaraderie. Really, I mean, that's the most important thing I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It takes an effort, huge effort, and we have like almost 40 volunteers on the day of the show. Some of those wore out this year, but you know, it does take a lot of effort. People counting ballots, doing field layout. When it's all done, it all has to get packed up and go home in 2 trailers and a 47 Bentley, and 4 hours up, 4 hours back, a couple times just to get home.
That's no fun.
So it is what it is. Well, thank you for bringing your car. Beautiful Lotus. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Moving along. Dana and Claire, Glen Grove, Vermont. Not a car you see every day. This is a 1946 Standard 8 Tourer. He's had this car for 26 years. I think we're going to hand him the microphone. He's going to tell you a whole lot about the car that I can't tell you.
So this is my car. I'm Dana. She's a funny little car. What she lacks in wow factor, she makes up for in smile factor. Probably the coolest thing about this car is that she was originally purchased by the great-grandson of Abraham Lincoln as his summer driving car. And her most fabulous feature is she clearly has the worst Lucas headlights in the entire world. So he's the one who put the spotlight on a self-defense, and we just don't drive her at night. Other than that, she's a great little car, and thanks for
did by chance this start out at Hildene in Manchester at some point?
It actually, it didn't go to Hildene. He lived in Dorset. He had a summer home in Dorset. So, but she did, her first show was the Hildene Car Show. And her second show was British Invasion back in 1992.
Well, thank you so much for ringing it and sharing the history with us. It's greatly appreciated. Always nice to see new and interesting vehicles. Thank you. Huh? Old and interesting vehicles, yes. Okay, we got a James Bond type vehicle coming up now, an Aston Martin. Bill and Marianne Izell from Temple, New Hampshire. This is a 2002 Aston Martin DB7 Vantage. I'm going to let Bill tell you about this car.
The DB7 actually never appeared in a single James Bond movie. But the history of this car is it's considered the car that saved Aston Martin. They were on the verge of bankruptcy. Ford Motor Company happened to own Aston, Jaguar, I think Rover, had an association with Mazda at the time, and decided, hey, let's build a new Aston. You might notice a lot of similarities between the body style and the Jaguar body style. It's because the same designer that designed some of the later Jags of that era designed this car. The DB7 series, and this one included, started off with a straight six, and now it has the first V12 engine that Aston ever had. And the engine is actually, I have to say, a Ford. It was designed by Ford Cosworth for Aston Martin, and the same engine has been in production until I think about last year for all the V12 Astons. And I thought I'd been destined to take third for the rest of my life, but today I took first, and I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much for bringing it and sharing it. We enjoy that. Anybody need a cab? Anybody go somewhere? Need a cab? Hold on. We got a cab coming. This is Bill and Steve Rule. This is from Concord, New Hampshire. This is a 1958 Beardmore Taxi. And we'll let them tell you about the car.
It's a 58 Beardmore, approximately 700 are made. As far as we know, we think there are about 16 in the country. It's a trip to drive. It's almost more fun to look at than it is to drive, especially if you're in town. But we have a lot of fun with it and plan to keep bringing it back.
Well, this is an example where we had three, I think originally three people register. So we created a class for cabs because you certainly can't put up with anything else. And we're happy to have a cab class. The issue is that when we have classes like that, folks have to register early so that we get included in our ballot books, and otherwise we wind up canceling a class that we created. But in this case, we created a class that wasn't on the registration form, and we're happy to do that. So thank you for bringing it and sharing it. We enjoy having it here.
Yeah, we enjoy it every year.
All right, thank you. I like the license plate, Hack. This is a lovely little Lotus. This is Keith and Marion Dewey from Weston, Vermont. It's a 2015 Lotus. And Keith is going to tell us a little bit about his car when I go find a ribbon.
Yes, this is a 2005 Series 2 Lotus Elise. Julian Thompson designed the Series 1 Elise in the 90s, and this is actually the first Lotus that was designed wholly on a computer. The frame itself is all aluminum and held together with space-age adhesives. The body's all fiberglass. Excuse me. The first owner of the car was the president of Force-Fed Turbochargers in California, and he installed this is the first turbo kit on an Elise that he installed. And Motor Trend magazine actually did an article on the car back in 2005 when he owned it. We're the fourth owner of the car, and we've had it for 9 years now. And it's has more horsepower than the stock Elise, and it has a ratio of 6.4 pounds per horsepower, so it has plenty. I get up and go. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody who organizes this show and all the the hassles they probably went through in the last couple days, and just want everyone to know that we appreciate all of the efforts. And this is a highlight of our year. Look forward to the show. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and bringing your car, please. Good afternoon. Yep, you've still got competition of colors rolling up over there. Okay, this looks like it's a singer from here, I believe. This is Patrick and Dee Desmond. They're from Malta, New York. This is a 1952 Singer 4AD. It's a family heirloom. I'm going to let them tell you about the car as I put the ribbon on. Thank you for bringing it. We always have a lot of fun with having singers here at the show and the display they put together.
We originally got the car in 2006. Right on when I passed away, and our family uses. We restored it, restored the car over time. We'd like to dedicate the win today to Len Pierce and the large singer group for Canadian County. He passed away earlier this year, and we dedicated this to him. Well, I want to thank everyone here at the for having us.
Want us to smile?